Roblox wants you to stay poor. And this is not me claiming that as a fact, that is me claiming that as an observation of what I have seen. And we have to talk about this because I haven't seen anybody talking about how Roblox has basically been artificially skewing the Roblox catalog to basically favoritize certain creators and allow for their high value items to get sales, and are basically punishing creators and users, which I can guarantee all of you watching this video have been impacted by this to some degree. Now, for some quick background context, for those of you that don't know, up until about a year or two ago, Roblox's user-generated content program, also known as UGC, was a very kind of highly sought-after invite-only program that was only available to people who applied and passed all the kind of forms of judgment, and they were able to produce content on Roblox. Now, up until then, Roblox, obviously as a gaming platform, kind of monopolized the catalog where you could only buy items created by Roblox. And so when they introduced the UGC program and certain creators could create content, the program basically allowed everyday people to create accessories on Roblox that then their community members or fans could support them by purchasing. Now, if you know anything about UGC, you know that the shares for creators are really, really unfair. I know a lot of people assume that, oh, when you sell a shirt or something on Roblox, you keep 70%, Roblox takes 30%, right? Well, it's actually the opposite when it comes to user-generated content. Creators only keep 30% of their sales. Now, I do have to clarify that this does depend on the kind of item you're selling, and there are some situations where creators can make more money than that. However, the baseline from the research I've done is that creators typically keep about 30% of their sales, which in my opinion, if you are creating the item, you are advertising the item, you are texturing, modeling everything, doing everything to the item, and paying to upload this item, you should be able to keep at least 50% of the profits. I think it is, in my opinion, predatory that Roblox takes such a massive cut of creators' revenue. But regardless, with the whole Roblox UGC program and them actually opening up to the general public about a year and a half ago, there was a massive influx of creators basically spam uploading limited like copy items. I know you guys probably saw the super happy faces that were being uploaded. There's so many like Valk dupes that are being uploaded. And there was also just a lot of half heads, which basically are meant to replicate Roblox's headless, which is 31,000 Robux. And there's also a bunch of leg items that were meant to look like core blocks, which is 17,000 Robux. Now, if you guys know anything about Roblox, Roblox basically puts these items on sale. Core blocks is always on sale. Headless is typically only during Halloween season, but these items create a ton of revenue for Roblox because to purchase Headless, as an example, you typically have to spend at least 300 USD purchasing Robux to afford that head, unless of course you're developing or doing other things, right? But we're not talking about that in that video. But the main point here is that creators started creating dupes to this to make it more accessible to players, which at the same time, yes, the creators are profiting from the sale of these items, but still creating a headless that was only maybe 100 Robux was way more attainable for the average Roblox player than it was to purchase a $300 lack of a head, basically, right? And for a while, Roblox allowed these items to basically be sold, and then they suddenly banned all of them. Like, it was overnight, a bunch of items were banned. They're like, hey guys, you cannot create limited item dupes or headless dupes or whatever it may be. We don't like that. Don't do it. And then there's a lot of community backlash, and they ended up actually going ahead and reinstating the ability for creators to do that. If you guys have been on the Roblox catalog within the past year, you have definitely seen that there has been so many Valks, a lot of Hello Kitty Valks, Sanrio Valks. There's been a lot of super happy face dupes, headless dupes. Like every single day, I'm finding like 20 more of them. And that was up until a couple days ago. And I do want to clarify that I got this video suggestion from one of you guys, but you asked for me anonymous. But basically, they sent me this message and were explaining how Roblox has put out an announcement a couple days ago as of December 19th, so a little bit before this video was posted, but basically saying, hey, you know what? You guys can't post this stuff anymore. They're banned. You can't do that. And this is really just kind of hypocritical to me because Roblox has already banned these items once before and then allow creators to make them again just to ban them again. And there's a reason why, in my opinion, this is so predatory. Now, if you don't know, when you upload UGC, there is a fee to upload UGC on Roblox. Now, this fee varies by the kind of item that you are uploading, and obviously, I'm not going to sit here and act like I specifically, understand all the ins and outs of UGC because the truth is, I have never uploaded a UGC item. I looked into it and then found out how much it cost and was like, no thanks. But for the majority of players, what I can find is that to upload UGC, which doesn't mean to put it on sale, it just means to upload the item for Roblox moderation to check and see if you can sell it, it's about 750 Robux. And then after that, to actually publish it and to do other things, it can cost more Robux. So for what I could find, the price to actually just upload one UGC item can range from 750 Robux all the way up to almost 2,000 Robux, which is obviously astronomical for the average player. That's about $20 to $25 USD to purchase that Robux. Robux to go ahead and upload something. So it costs you, not including the time and resources and software you had to purchase to make 3D models, but also, the skill that it took on top of this fee. It actually ends up costing a creator a ton of money to just upload one singular item, which doesn't even guarantee it will even ever go on sale, because Roblox's content program, basically the way that it works, is that if you upload a UGC item and it doesn't pass Roblox moderation, which we already know, moderation has failed the community time and time again because Roblox loves using AI, which cannot accurately judge things. What ends up happening is you can upload an item for 750 Robux and it can be a completely normal item, and Roblox will be like, no. And then boom, your 750 Robux, gone. Yeah. It's just gone. And you can contact support, and 9 times out of 10, they won't do anything about it, and they will not revise their kind of review of your item. Now, when it comes to the actual shares of items, which I previously mentioned, the Roblox user-generated content program is not very accessible or profitable for the majority of creators. Aside from, clothing sales and stuff like that, where creators typically keep up to 70% of the sale value. So if you're selling an item for 10 Robux, you keep 7 Robux out of that total, and Roblox keeps 30% of that, which is 3 Robux. And that's like the Roblox tax is what they call it, which I love that we're just, replicating capitalism in a kid's game. That's great. But regardless, in the user-generated content program, it's actually backwards. Creators only keep roughly 30% of their sales, which from my research, this does vary by the kind of item you're uploading. However, the gist of it is that creators keep less of the item that they created, they textured, they spent the time advertising, and Roblox keeps the majority of the earnings, which in my opinion is very predatory and unfair. Now, what happens in situations like these, whereas a couple days ago, Roblox has gone ahead and initiated a secondary ban regarding the creation of fake headless and core boxes and limited items, is that creators are not refunded the uploading fee. So even if their item originally passed moderation and was like, Roblox was like, yeah, this is good, you can upload it. Now Roblox has all of a sudden proceeded with a mass ban of all these items, meaning any creator that uploaded an item and paid the 750 Robux and passed moderation had their item removed and did not get refunded the uploading fee. So not just the checking fee of 750 Robux, but also uploading fees and other fees associated with that, which can add up to just under 2,000 Robux. So creators basically end up losing out on a bunch of Robux. And what's hypocritical about this is that creators didn't only, violate Roblox's terms of service, because Roblox was openly allowing this after banning it, and now to all of a sudden, halfway through, when creators have already published things, to decide something isn't allowed anymore is incredibly unfair to creators, because you're misrepresenting the abilities that creators have and the control they have over their items, where you can all of a sudden, as a massive company, just decide, yeah, you know what? Actually, no, you aren't allowed to have that. And then you take it away from them, which is so unfair, especially to people who rely on Roblox UGC sales to support themselves, which is actually quite a few creators. Now, on top of that, when you get an item deleted, which I'm sure a lot of you guys have experienced, myself included, I had a half head in Roblox that was actually deleted, you get a refund to your messages. But here is the issue, that when you get that refund message, typically people just don't see it. It's very hard to find. It's very hard to see. I, for one, am not typically checking my Roblox messages. And what's unfortunate about this is that, yeah, you get refunded, but the creator, then all of their revenue completely halts from that item. So they could have spent hours upon hours upon hours creating this item with the intention of selling it forever, just for Roblox to change their terms and their rules last minute without really informing creators, it sounds like, in my opinion, is just very predatory. I think it's very bizarre. And it's like Roblox basically profits from the creation of these items, which I understand that Robux itself isn't necessarily a currency that is viable in the real world. Like, at the end of the day, Roblox can just decide to make more Robux. Roblox can just decide, you know what, we're actually going to charge more for Robux, or we're going to decrease the amount that you can take out and stuff like that, right? So they control the entire economy here. But in theory, Roblox is profiting from these sales because they basically keep 750 Robux and then publishing fees, and they keep 70% of your sales. And so then creators left with a tiny crumb, and their item is wrongfully taken off the marketplace because of rules they weren't even made aware existed, And what a lot of people like to mention is that Roblox has so much control of the marketplace that it gives creators very little freedom and control over their own assets. If you look at the Roblox terms of service, which I'm not a lawyer here, but from what I can understand, there is a lot of oddly worded legal jargon where it's basically like, if you upload content to Roblox, it's kind of like by Roblox, which is very, very bizarre to me, because as a 3D creator or whatever you might be, in my opinion, as an artist, you don't want your content being owned by anybody else other than you, right? And maybe I misinterpreted that. I'm not necessarily saying that as fact. I would encourage you guys to look at the Roblox terms of service yourselves. But from what I can understand, I thought it was very, very concerning and very misleading. Now, aside from that, it just seems like Roblox, in my opinion, is trying to artificially inflate their sales, because if you guys don't know, Roblox is a company that is publicly traded, meaning that random people online can basically purchase a sort of kind of ownership, a share in Roblox for a certain amount of money, and the more people who are purchasing shares is basically the more people that are earning, interest off of Roblox or are basically contributing to Roblox's development. And typically, a game succeeds more when there's lots of people investing in it, because the game has more money to invest in other services and stuff like that, and they basically become much more profitable. And it really determines the value of a company based on how many people are publicly trading with that company and how much these shares for that company are worth, which I'm not an economist, it's a whole thing. You can search it up if you'd like. But what I think, and in my personal opinion, the reason Roblox allowed the sale of these items after banning them and then banning them again a couple months later, in my opinion, is because Roblox wanted to be able to tell investors that they were able to generate this much money in user sales, and basically to preach how effective Roblox UGC is. And then once they had finished their case study, and this is just my opinion, I don't know if this is fact, but once they finished like their little trial period to see how much they could boost sales, to see how much stuff they could sell, because the truth is, a lot of players will purchase headless on Roblox or headless dupes because they want to look cool, they want to have cool items, and then once that item's deleted, they're not going to not wear headless anymore. They're just going to go and find another creator whose item was deleted, which then results in this cycle of sales on Roblox, which artificially inflates the amount of sales that Roblox is reporting to investors, which in turn can allow Roblox to artificially skew reports about how successful their application is and how much creators are profiting on their platform by, again, allowing people to create things just for like a certain limited time and then all of a sudden banning it. I mean, like, yeah, guys, we got 500,000 sales from this one creator. But now that creator's not making any more money because you finished doing your little research period. Like, that is what I don't understand here, is you can't just be pulling the rug out from creators and not telling them when you're changing rules and giving them a chance to alter items and stuff like that. My personal opinion, and this is just my opinion, is that if you allow creators to create certain items, and that is something that's allowed and it passes moderation and they pay money to be able to upload these items, you cannot then, in my opinion, in good faith, go ahead and change the rules without allowing creators who uploaded content before those rules were even in place to keep their items up. You know what I mean? Like, it just seems like very predatory and backwards to me. But regardless, I'd like to know what you guys think about this in the comment section below. And for any of you guys that are maybe UGC creators, your input here would be super, super helpful. And I would really appreciate any of your expertise or knowledge, because this situation, in my opinion, just doesn't make a lot of sense. It seems very backwards to me. It feels like it's actively victimizing creators instead of uplifting them, which is like Roblox's whole point of their platform is to fuel creativity. So let's talk about it in the comment section below. Please again remember that everything mentioned in this video is just my opinion. I'm not saying it necessarily as fact or saying this is 100% accurate. I am just speculating. But regardless, let me know your thoughts on this in the comment section below, and I will see you guys next time. Bye bye!